Hello everyone, Qsan is here again. Have you noticed how watercolor has a great potential to show characters' emotions and create atmospheric backgrounds? Let's use Clip Studio Paint to make emotional works by playing with brushes and textures. Let's start! Open your work in Clip Studio Paint. For these tutorials I drew Aria with headphones. Music is one of the most powerful and inspirational themes in art and one of my favorite mediums. How many times have you seen art that's inspired by music or drawn an illustration yourself inspired by a song you like? The watercolor technique is the perfect way to express that feeling by using the strength of the line and the colors. I'll do this in illustration using different brushes that Clip Studio offers us. Specifically, in the pencil tool there are brushes that recreate traditional pencil textures like the pencil or the mechanical pencil. In the watercolor brushes we can find all main watercolor tools such as the hard and the soft watercolor brush, the textured running color edge watercolor brush, and the wet bleed blender brush, which is really good for mixing colors. The realistic watercolor brushes are more textured, perfect to emphasize the traditional feeling thanks to the realistic materials and the regular brush shape, like the rough wash, and the textured blender. In the thick paint and India ink tools there are stronger brushes like the oil paint, the gouache brushes, the pointillism brush, and the darker bleed that giving a rougher and decisive stroke in the work. As you can see, the program gives us amazing brushes to replicate perfectly a traditional work type, fresh but impactful and extremely emotional. Now come back to the drawing. To make this, I took inspiration from an amazing historical artist and one of my favorites, Qsan. He is the founder of the colors and shapes theory and the music in art in 20th century. The use of color combinations and simple shapes in drawings have been so important in art, and these ideas are still used in illustrations, comics, and graphic design, giving rhythm, emotions, and dynamism to the image. My main idea is to mix some elements from his style with my favorite elements of mine: flowers, butterflies, water drops, of course, with a bit of shoujo manga vibes. Let's start! For the character skin, go to Tool, Pencil, and use pencil and darker pencil to make a base and shadows. For the clothes and the blue backgrounds, go to Tool, Realistic Watercolor, Rough Wash and Textured Blender to mix colors. Don't worry if the colors are overlapped. Then go to Tool, India Ink, Darker Bleed, and do some rougher strokes. I do them with similar blue tones and contrast colors like violet and white. Go to Tool, Thick Paint, Pointillism. Make some dense splatters, giving more vibrance to the wall drawing. Last, add details like tonal corrections, butterflies, flowers, sparkles, and white lines. Done! Arya is a joyful and chill girl who loves freedom and nature. The sea is what she loves the most, and the traveling around the world is her dream. Keeping her personality in mind, these colors give me love for nature, calm, water, and lo-fi music, where words and sound makes Arya a full-time dreamer. Let's see what emotions I could share if I use different colors palette. To change the tone faster without recoloring, use a gradient map. Go to the background folder and duplicate it. Then right-click, Convert Layer. Click OK. We have a unique background layer now. Go to Menu, Edit, Tonal Corrections, Gradient Map. For example, clicking on the sunset gradient will automatically change colors from blue to red. I can edit them by moving arrows in the bar and using the mixed rate curve that adapt the colors to each other. Once satisfied, click OK. Change the other tones if you need, using the same method. Then add details, in my case, black sparkles, white lines, and some adjustments to emphasize this time an atmosphere of restlessness and trouble. Red, violet, and dark colors are telling an anxious Arya where the strength of the emotions catching her negatively and conflicting way. If I change again with green palette, the drawing now is full of hope and love for nature and spring vibes. My character seems he's remembering old memories, maybe her childhood, where everything was easier, full of young dreams and joyful moments with people she loves. Not only with music theme, the watercolor style works with everything. Every theme, every sheen, with characters and backgrounds. You can draw a sad emotions caused by a distance, a broken dream, or the loss of someone important for you. The joy of company and the desire to protect someone precious. The shyness and purity of a child, or a simple smile. With colors and shapes, textures enrich the emotions and the roughness of the illustration. For example, the texture in the watercolor splatter makes the painting technique rude and deep. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope with this one I could share my love for this technique. As artists that love emotional moments, Clip Studio Paint continue to give me such a lot of opportunities to improve my watercolor style. Remember that there is the sets where you can find free and paid resources from the community. Brushes, gradients, textures that surely will help your works. I want to give my contribution too, to thank you everyone for the support. I shared my materials to free to use. I hope they can help you, and if you use them, please don't hesitate to share your work in the comment or tag Clip Studio Paint social media. Thank you very much and see you in the next video. Bye!